Hey guys, how is everybody? I hope everyone's well. If you remember back, picked up a couple more Homelites over the weekend from the same gentleman at the flea market. He's an older fella. Told me he had them, told me he would bring them. We bought the two 240s and the Super 2 and it was a little Husky 41 from him. Said these would fire on a prime, but said he could not get them to full tank fuel, and honestly not even look at the saws. This one here, the chain is apparently rusted to the bar, which kind of sucks. It's a pretty daggone good looking chain. I think that's longer than a 20-inch bar, which is sad enough. I don't think I have a daggone tape line. Yes I do, right here. 20 inch. Looked just like it. It looked a little longer than 20, but whatever, it is what it is. There's no dogs on the saw. It's probably the culprit. I'd like to see, you know, I've done looked at the tank and it looks pretty good. It's not one of the oldest ones that had the copper line and the strainer, or the wick, I guess you call it, in the bottom of the tank. I had one of those here for a little while. Wish I had it back now for parts, but I thought I had too many saws and let a few go. It's kind of funny how that works. It about damn gave it away. Be cool to have that here now for parts, but got good feedback on it, so I'm assuming whoever got the thing was happy with it. You know, that's all that matters. Got my money back out of it, and whatever, life goes on. Like I said, I know nothing about it. We're going to find out together, I guess. He's supposed to be bringing, not this weekend, but next weekend. Said he actually has, I believe we can work that chain, get it to free up. I took some pretty rough looking chains and got them to free back up before. I believe it's about already unfroze. Sometimes it don't take a lot, a little bit of penetrating lube. And there we go. Yeah, I believe we can use that chain on something. I don't really have a lot of Homelite bars. I've got a couple short ones, and about it really. One Oregon bar, it's more like a universal. It'll work on a Homelite or a bat. Sadly enough, this is a hard-nosed bar. I don't really care for hard-nosed bars here. If it's all I've got for, say, a certain vintage saw, sprocket looks to be about expected for, what is this thing, freaking 50 plus years old. Hell, it probably, yeah, she's looking at over 50 years old now, but she looks pretty daggone chewed up, really. Not the worst looking saw in the world, but I'm gonna take an air hose to it right fast. If you got earbuds in, I don't know, you might want to take them out. I thought it'd be pretty cool just to shoot a little video. Got the little short stubby muffler, kind of like the old 250 Max. And if the audio sounds a little off, it's been raining out and I've got two big shop fans blowing on me because I don't have to explain it. I think it's hot everywhere in the country right now, but been pretty daggone miserable here. But get some wind blowing on you and it's bearable. But, got my little wild thing going, the one that I bought new. Got it in a piece of wood. She's pretty dang lazy. I can kind of hear some piston rattle. He'd probably do a rebuild, but honestly, if I go into it, I'm going to put the older stall cylinder back into the saw. To my understanding, you can do that. Could be wrong. Don't go and quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but to my understanding, it is doable. What do we got for that gum fuel line, guys? Looks like it's got a big piece of, that's something somebody's cobbled up. I guess, I don't know, it could have came that way, but on my old Super XL and then the the XL 130, I think it is. I've got to work on the clutch on that. I got a grommet going into the tank on it, but I don't know, it could have came that way. Fuel line's stiff, but it's there. Smells like the fuel was drained out of the tank when whoever parked it, that thing parked it. Gonna be people cringe on me just pouring fuel in it and trying to run it, I believe, but whatever, who cares. With that little stubby muffler, I don't think there's a whole lot of fear of anything being in it. Those might actually be steel. I know the Mac ones are either magnesium or may even be aluminum, because they're not magnetic at all. I'm pretty sure they're aluminum. But we'll see what it does. A little late here, a little after 9 o'clock, but it's one of the best times to work in the shop. But we'll see if it pops off. What a bad looking old saw. I'm really wanting to do one of these, the 54cc gun. Honestly, I've never ran one. I've ran the Super XLs and all the little Super 2s and stuff, but honestly, I've never ran one of the actual XL saws. Really, honestly, like to find my little can of oil. I'm not going to sit and look for it all night long either. We'll see. Old fella said he's been trying to start them, so he couldn't get them to pull a lick of tank fuel, but we may know a trick or two that we don't, but I doubt it. Switch is on. I don't think this is going to hit a lick. Alright guys, it has a little bit of spark. It's really intermittent. It's not enough to run. I even tried a different plug. Maybe the old man knew something we didn't know, but that's what we're going to chalk this one up to no spark. I'm pretty sure this is points ignition. I've got chips here. What I'll do, I'll just go ahead and get a carb kit for saw. I know someone's seen me try to put that damn thing on backwards. What we'll do is get a carb kit, and I've already got ignition chips here. I know it's got enough compression to run. It's got more than enough compression to run. My arm, after about 50 pulls on it, is telling me that it has all the compression in the world it needs to run, but it will pop, but it's not enough to run. I don't know if it picked up that one time it popped on camera, but I changed the plug, same deal. You can pull on it 20 times and it'll pop once. So probably just the damn points in it's corroded over, and most of you by now know that I despise points. Yeah, that's the reason everything went to electronic. But it is possible to get points to perform well, don't get me wrong. Some of the old dual point distributors in your old Mopars are some of the damn hottest ignition systems of their day, but it is what it is. I'll set this on to the side for shits and grins. Pull it a couple more times. gonna hit a lick, guys. Kinda sucks I wasted a quarter's worth of fuel in it, but we will revisit the old girl sooner than later. I do plan on getting rid of some of these damn things. Ones that I have multiple of the same saw. And I'm assuming these are probably the original bars and chains on these things. XL12, it's still on that one really good on the recoil cover. This one's in actually looks like a little better cosmetic shape than the other one. Not much, but a little bit. Somebody's been pumping oil to that one. Chain's good and old. Sadly enough, that one's a hard-nosed bar too. I'm sure Simple Man will know. I'm assuming these things all came with hard-nosed bars. Which again, we're talking about a saw that's over 50 years old. They started making these things like in the early 60s or something. And the one I had here before, it was red and had the small bar studs. I think this one is small bar studs. No, it has larger bar studs. It had the little small bar studs on it. Had the wick in the tank. It had a lot of issues. I was able to get it running, a video of it running on the channel, but someone had been into that saw. Probably shouldn't have been into it. And like there's a thrust washer inside of it. They had it all jacked up, and then they're all took me a little bit to figure it out because the saw felt like it was locked up. But it wasn't, if it makes any sense. While the sprocket on that one looks barely used. Either it's been replaced or no way it's a low hour saw. I mean, it's a million years old. That's kind of weird. The other one that I got from Simple Man, it has the same muffler on it. The one that we set down is, what bar studs is that? It had the same bar studs as this one, but this one has just a small piece of line and a grommet going in. So I don't know. It's got a set of dogs on it. There is a super version of these that were made, but I don't know how to tell the difference. I'm not a someone very laughing. I'm not a Homelite man by any means, but I bet this one does pop off and try to run just by looking at it. But you know, who knows? We'll just have to see. It has quite some bit more compression than the other saw. I don't see super on it anywhere. Just Homelite XL12. I'm assuming the supers would have super road on it, but again, guys, I ain't no Homelite man. I've worked on a lot of the old Super 2s back in the day, just like this one, the damn plugs are loose. $20 a piece, you can't beat it anyway, regardless of neither one of them has spark. But all the other saws ran that I bought off of them. He tried to get me to start on there at the flea market, and I could tell that someone had been running them. And I was like, well, I believe you, you know, it'll be alright. Don't have to start them. For what I paid for them, it's well worth it. But all four saws did run. And, you know, if you've seen the other video, the guaranteed to run saw, we got it crack over and run. And I about knew it would because the chain still had oil on it. Pop over. We'll get this drilled around. Let's get some fuel in the tank. Ooh, I smell old fuel. Probably a lot of old residual oil in the carb and in the muffler or anywhere else. I'd really like to hop one of these up. I want to do a red, white, and blue themed saw, but I'm wanting to build it from the ground up. I've got enough parts out there to do it without messing with either of these two saws. That's going to be a fun project. I was kind of wanting to get it done by the 4th, but no, it never happened. It's got too busy. But we're wanting to do like a patriotic saw, I guess. I think it'll be a pretty fun little project. You know, before we start cranking on this junk, it's usually half-assed a smart idea to check and see where the damn jets are at on it. I'll get into my big drawer of miscellaneous tools. I know I'm not the only person that has their stuff scattered everywhere in the world. At least I hope not. And really, there should be about half a dozen flathead screwdrivers just laying here. There's one that should fit those just fine. We just kind of like to see where the jets are at. There's half, one and a half. Let's see where the low jet was at. There's half, one, half, one, about 1 1/4. We're going to give it another shot down the Venturi. Sometimes on these old saws, and I'm not saying it'll work every time, once you get it to pop over, and once it's running, you know, it's work on any saw, modern or what, but sometimes if you can grab that choke and pull it out, it'll pull fuel. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Just depends on how stiff things are in it. But we'll see. $20, guys. Let's go back in to where the factory had it returned. See if this old girl will light back off. Ain't that freaking awesome? I love it. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. It don't take a lot to please me these days. $20 power saw just fire right up and run. That's a win in my book any day. Let's see. I don't have any degreaser here handy. I don't think. I have to get back my super clean. I'm gonna send us some more. I'll just go buy some. That stuff's pain in the ass. Making videos for people the way they want it. Whatever. Each their own. Just do my own thing. If I need something, I'll go buy it. Might as well wipe it down, see if I can find somewhere on a shelf to put it. I doubt it. Had a raccoon get into my, or something, we don't know yet, get into my daughter's chicken coop out back. Whatever it was big enough to tear through chicken wire, and it just got what was left of what chickens she had back there. Long story short, said she didn't want any more to go back there. Just kind of tired of losing them, I guess. And chickens are just kind of a pain in the ass anyway. We still got a few out front and some coops, but get an egg every now and then. So I'd do what I wanted with the hen house chicken coop. It's not a really big building. I think I built it like 8x8 or something, if it's even that big. But we're going to pressure wash it out good, throw some shelves in it, and got some ready-made sauce storage. And trust me, we need it some kind of bad. And we'll get into that when it cools off a little bit. Because the other little shed I originally built was to keep our go-karts in, and there's a go-kart that I need to get out and put together and sell that's kind of damn buried in there. About pointless to wipe it side of the saw, but whatever. Check that out, guys. It's getting wiped off pretty damn good. Load Homelites are cool. They are what they are. They're sure everybody loves that air thing. Alright, get another shot now. This one was filthy. We want the one with the adjuster slot and the oil slot to go inside. I swear I throw bar plates away on the old mats usually. They're laying there in boxes everywhere. I know some people think you have to have them, but I've yet to have a bar plate on a saw. Here's what it is. It'll just be me. I'll say that. Well, I take that back. It wasn't true. Like my big 300, you absolutely have to run bar plates on that. These may be the same way, I don't know, but I'm not 100% sure if my Super XL has bar plates on it. I don't know. That saw, we picked up a lot from it by tearing it down and porting it, but if you'll remember, I used the same damn piston ring that came off the stored piston. I didn't put the crank seals or nothing in it. Don't get me wrong, it idles fine. It picked up compression, but it don't run as good as it could, and we all know you can't do machine work with those. You're lucky if you can do a base gasket delete on them. But you know, a lot of them will free port, but if you ain't real picky about how one idles, you can get by with a little bit of free port on one. Not on a modern saw, I don't know, maybe depending on what it is, but on a reed valve saw, you can get by with a little bit of free port. And I always snug my bar nuts down on the cover, because let's face it, they're really bad about vibrating off saws when you're running them. Wow guys, I can't wait to restore one of these and paint it up. I've got some blue paint, but it's not really going to match these. It was like the blue that was on the stripes on my Mustang. I think it was speed blue, something like that. But what do you guys say we see if we can fire it back up and call this video an end? shit out of me. Ouch. My God, that one's got some spark. I just kind of wonder if the drink of fuel I didn't put in it just was not enough. It seems to have plenty of fuel. I'm going to pick up some carb kits for these. I'm assuming it's just a Walbro SDC. Wow, the idle screw is like all the way in on that thing. Let's see if it'll idle down. I'm going to cut that back off with the damn screwdriver. Oh shit. Should we leave that in or edit it out? She got some compression. Hard to do one-handed and focus all. Still got me. Evidently our switch has got a short in it or ground it out somewhere or something. It will absolutely shock the mortal living shit out of you. That thing has killer compression. But anyway, this video is probably way longer than it ever needed to be. You guys let me know if you want to see some of these builds. Maybe see one kind of stripped down on camera. Really like to hop one of these up. This one may be a good candidate. I don't know. We'll just have to see. It ain't perfect by any means, but for its age, you know, it's pretty daggone good. As always, thank you guys for watching. Everybody stay safe and y'all have a good day.